Dear students, I am Mrs. R. Surya Devi, Assistant Professor of Commerce, SFR College for Women, Sivahasi. Today we are going to discuss about the Customs Act 1962. A little intro about Customs Act, how it come into our practice. In the ancient days, it was the custom that any merchant entering any kingdom with his goods had to present a valuable gift to the king. Over the years, this custom was regularized and legalized into customs duty. However, it was traced and the origin of custom was traced to British rule. The collection of customs duties was entrusted by the British government to the board revenue. During the British rule in India, they had three residences, namely Bombay, Bengal, and Madras. Each of these has its own custom rules and regulations. Later, in Customs Duties Act 1959, they provide uniform rates of duties for all the three provinces. And later on, subsequently, many Customs Act and Tariff Act was enacted and followed certain rules and principles. Then, import duty on yarn was imposed in 1894 at 5% ad valorem. The general rate of import duty was raised from 5% to 7.5% ad valorem. After the independence, Indian manufacturing industry grew and there was expansion in the trade. Then Custom Tariff Act 1934 and other act was recommended. Later on, Customs Act was passed in 1962 and Tariff Act 1975 was also passed, which came into effect in 1976. So this is how the customs enter into our country and many rules and regulations were framed. Next, the objectives of Customs Act. The first objective is safeguarding the domestic trade. To safeguard our domestic trade, they imposed import duties. Then, reducing imports. We have to discourage more imports. Revenue resources. To levy and collect adequate revenue resources for the economic development of our country. Protection of Indian industry. To protect Indian industry in the interest of trade, commerce and economy. To safeguard our Indian industry, the Customs Act was levied. Prevention smuggling activity. To prevent the smuggling activities, the central government imposed customs duty. To prevent dumping of goods. To safeguard our home markets, our country should not become a dumping ground for foreign goods. Scope of Customs Law. The Customs Act 1962 was passed by the Parliament on 13th December 1962. The Act came into force from February 1, 1963. It is a simple, crisp, and lucid piece of legislation. There are many rules under the custom tax or as under. So let us see the one by one rules. The Customs Valuation Rules 1988. Duty Drawback Rules 1995. Re-export of imported goods drawback of customs rules 1995. The baggage rules 1998. So these are the rules under the Customs Act. Then many regulations under Customs Act was levied. So let us see about the regulations levied under Customs Act. Project Import Regulations 1986. Provisional Assessment Regulations 1963. Import Manifest Regulation 1976. Bill of Entry Form Regulations 1976, Custom House Agent Regulation 1984, Bill of Entry Electronic Declaration Regulation 1995. Then Custom Tariff Act 1975 has passed some rules and regulations. In that, they contain two schedules, Schedule 1 and Schedule 2. So Schedule 1 gives the clarification about the rate for import duties, and Schedule 2 gives classification about the rates of duty for exports. In addition to the import duty and export duty, the Custom Tariff Act make provision for duties like addition duty, preferential duty, anti-dumping duty, protective duties and so on. There are some notification under Customs Act 1962. Section 25 of subsection 1, then section 11, section 11b, section 11, subsection 11. These all has some provisions related to the Customs Act. Then board circulars. In the board circulars, there are some instructions and directions to the officers of customs, and they are required to observe and follow such orders, instructions and directions of the board. So they contain what are the instructions to be followed by the customs officer. Then custom manual 2001. So in the custom manual, it gives an overview of customs law and procedures. We have to strictly follow that customs manual 2001. Then public notices. It is similar to the board circulars, that is the rules and regulations of customs. It should be known to the public, so they issue the public notices, and the Commissioner of Customs issue the public notices, and the public has to follow these rules and regulations for their importation and exportation of goods. Appointment of officers of customs. Generally, the appointment is done by the central government. The central government is empowered to appoint custom officers. There are many cadres and different classes of officers of customs. So let us discuss what are the classes in the officers of customs. Chief Commissioner of Customs, Commissioners of Customs, Commissioners of Customs Appeal, Joint Commissioners of Customs, Deputy Commissioners of Customs, Assistant Commissioners of Customs, and other officers of customs are appointed according to the Customs Act or according to the purpose of the Customs Act. Powers of Custom Authority. The first power is appointment of custom ports and airports. The custom ports and airports will be mentioned by the customs authorities for loading and unloading the goods imported or exported. So we have to follow only the mentioned custom ports and airports given by the custom authorities. Next is inland container depots. The inland container depots will also be marked or given by the customs authorities or other proper officers. We have to choose that inland container depots for loading and unloading our goods. Land customs stations. The land customs station are also similar. We have to follow or we have to clear our goods only in the specified land customs stations given by the custom authorities. Routes. The routes also given by the customs authorities. We have to pass our goods only through the specified routes and land customs station mentioned by the officers. Coastal ports. The ports shall be the coastal ports for carrying on trade in the coastal goods or any class of such goods with all or any specified ports of India. We have to follow the specified ports given by the custom authorities. We should not choose our own ports, land, routes according to our own interest. We have to follow the rules and the specified routes given by the custom authorities. Approval of landing places and specifying the limits of custom area. The Commissioner of Customs may approve the proper places in any customs of airport or ports for loading and unloading of goods. He may specify the limits of any custom area. So we should not cross the limits of the custom area also. If we cross any borders or limits, we will be punished or we will be penalized. Then powers to declare places to be warehousing stations. So the warehousing stations will also be mentioned by the official gazette, and we have to store our goods only in the warehouses specified by the authorities, which may be a public warehouses or licensed private warehouses. Then appointment of boarding stations. The Commissioner of Customs by notification in the official gazette mention the boarding stations for loading our goods in the places. We have to follow that boarding station only. We cannot choose our boarding stations by our own interest. So what are the rules and regulations mentioned by the customs authorities will make our import and export safe and secure. So these are the powers of custom authorities.